It's a beautiful day. Bright blue skies. Sun's starting to get low. Not even a breeze. Beautiful day. 80 degrees though. Imagine that for November the 8th. Oh, well, hello there again, friends and family. Well, as you can see, it's Wednesday, November the 8th, 2023. Pardon my appearance. It's been a long, long day. Yeah, many of you on the last video, and that, when I was explaining things I bought at Walmart, some were convenience foods, that's a fact. And it's because of what's, happening this week and next. That does deal with my health and everything. Many of you are aware of it. Maybe some of you are not. And I don't share my reel here in my little piece of paradise in the deep south of Alabama, Mr. Tom's neighborhood, for any other reason. Then, first of all, to document it for myself, because my memory isn't as good as it once was. Second of all, for my children and my grandchildren. And now, thirdly, for all of you, my friends and family, which want to know and care. Those who don't watch. I mean, there's plenty on YouTube to watch. But it's never about sympathy or what have you. And as always, you don't need to do a thing. Nothing's expected. Well, we would like you to give us a thumbs up. Maybe share it with somebody you know that might be a good member of our community. And, of course, watch an ad or two play would be totally appreciated. Other than that, it's free. So yeah, I had to go today to the capital city of Alabama, Montgomery, which is, for a little old country boy living in the rural area of the deep south of Alabama, that can be a thing. It didn't used to be back in my life. I traveled all over the country in my profession and in many parts of the world. I've driven almost every major city in the U.S. I might have missed a few, but not many, over all the years. And I've driven several foreign cities, like London. Never did drive in Japan, China, or any of the Asian countries. That can get a little tricky, as you might have seen here on YouTube. But as you get older, your reflexes aren't as good, eyesight's not as good, I'm honest. And that, but yeah. And if you've never had an MRI, and that's what I had, and which is a magnetic resonance imaging machine, and it uses magnets and radio waves to take pictures, actually, of sections of your body. I mean, to put it in simple terms, it slices up your body and then generates a computer image of your body and your internal organs, bone structure, and everything. And that's what I had today. But to get to where I could take it today, I had to do several things starting last night. And the first thing I had to go do, and I did that yesterday when I was out shopping, so I had to get me what they call an aggressive colon cleanse. I'll just leave it at that. If you've ever taken one prior to a colonoscopy or an MRI or what have you, you'll know what I'm talking about. We got to get out of this bright sunshine that's trying to blind me. Maybe we can move over a little bit. What do y'all say? We'll get over here a little bit. Maybe that'll help. But anyway, yeah. And what they told me in my pre-prep consultation was that I couldn't eat a thing or drink a thing after midnight the night before. And I needed to take that cleanse no later than 4 hours before the MRI. I took it at midnight. I figured since I wasn't going to eat nothing, wasn't going to drink nothing, whatever was there, might as well start the day anew, if you know what I mean. And we went through all that last night. And therefore didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Of course, I'm not sure I would have got a whole lot of sleep because this has been weighing heavily on my mind. And as many of y'all know, it has to deal with prostate. That's a problem with older men. And it can be nothing. It can be something, or it can be serious. That's just putting it out there. I don't think it's nothing, something, or going to be more. I just want to know and do what I got to do to make it go away. That's my mindset. And as always, I have my faith in my Father God. But I'm still going to do my part, so he don't got to work so hard. But we did all that, and since it is a paired drive for me from Tallahassee into the capital city, and I would be going to Jackson, which is a major health center in the capital city. Not the hospital itself, but part of it is Jackson Imaging. I guess it's where they do all the outpatient imaging. I'm sure they have all these whiz-bang machines and everything in the hospital too. It's rather huge. So yeah, so I didn't get much sleep. I went ahead and got up at 5:30. Actually, I had my alarm set, and I had a close friend of mine give me a wake-up call just to make sure I didn't hit that snooze and sleep past when I needed to get up to get ready and make it in time. But I mean, my normal morning routine is have a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's the first thing I do, is stumble into the kitchen, see if Jeevy's got the coffee all brewed. And she's pretty good about that, you know, being French and all. You have to look close in the kitchen to see what I mean when I'm talking about Jeevy. It may just surprise you. Because no, I don't have a roommate at all. So that was hard. I really wanted to do it. I had to stop myself, or I'd have been in a mess. It gets back to you can't eat or drink nothing before this test. But I went ahead and showered up and got my hair all straight best I could. I need a haircut really bad, I must say. Getting to look a little wild, but that's okay. I hear the style's coming back. I heard the other day, flared and seen where they're selling flared jeans again. Can you imagine that? So I did all that. Got spiffied on up, put my bright red shirt on, my best pair of jeans, and heated up Alice, which I'd got all ready the day before. Checked her oil, checked her tire pressure, filled up her windshield washer fluid. Don't know why, just thought I should. And got her warmed up because it was a little chilly this morning. Wasn't too bad, 52 degrees, but it was pretty foggy. And that's a little worrisome, especially, you know, hitting the capital city in that early in the morning when everybody's trying to get to the factories and what have you. It's always chaotic. So off we went. And you know, Alice hasn't been up on the super slab, as we used to call it. You know, the interstate. Used to be just a few cars there, you know, back in the 70s and 80s. Now it's just jam-packed. Many times bumper to bumper anymore. So I wasn't looking forward to it. But we sped along, and miraculously, it just seemed like the fog lifted just in time for me and little old Alice to zip on by. And we made it down through. You know, the highway goes from 4 lanes to 8 lanes, you know, to 12 lanes. And you got people coming on and going off. They're going all directions and sliding on by in front of you and back of you. It's just like running through a gauntlet. But we made it through. We made it there. And I was rather early, just in case traffic got backed up. But today I was fortunate, and it didn't. So we actually took a little nap before we went on in to our appointment. It took a while because you got paperwork to do, you got to pay your copay, answer a bunch of questions. But then, you know, you go in there, they lead you on in. Of course, they give you a little fancy hospital bracelet, you know, a little keepsake of your time there. Sort of like going to Disney World, you know. You get to keep the little bracelet as a souvenir. And then, of course, they take you to a dressing room. And you get to take your clothes off. Of course, I got to keep my shirt on, my undies, and my socks. I thought that was rather kind. Then you put on these here little short shorts. You know, made out of that little paper hospital type material, you know. And then they take you on in there to the MRI. And there's different types. There's open cores, closed cores. There's short ones and long ones. And don't be confused with a CT scan. These two totally different things. And they'd already put an IV in my arm as part of the prep. Because they were going to, my MRI today was an MRI with contrast. And no, it's not a radioactive isotope they put in you. It's called it's gadolinium. I think it's pronounced gadolinium. I may be wrong. But it is actually a rare earth metal. And it helps when the magnets are running, and it helps enhance stuff like tumors and blood vessels and soft organs and such as that. So it's a rare earth metal is what's in this particular type of contrast. Yes, there are contrasts. And yes, in my lifetime, I have been given radioactive isotopes for other certain tests. That was in another life, long time ago. Anyway, they start the IV, and then they lay you down. You got your little hospital gown on and your short shorts, and in you go. And this particular MRI was a full body MRI, and it's rather daunting, especially if you're claustrophobic. It's close quarters. I'm a little guy, you know, and it was still close quarters. And they put you in, it's like being put in a tube. And I mean, less than a foot above me was the top of that MRI. And they make you put in earplugs, one in each ear. And they make sure they fit really well. And there's a reason for that. Now, if you look it all up, they'll say in MRIs, you know, uses magnets and radio waves. But those radio waves, those are pretty noisy. I can tell you that. I've been to a lot of rock concerts in my life, and the radio waves were way above that. I'm not sure how many decibels, but I will guarantee you it would have caused me some pain if I wouldn't have had the earplugs in. And if you've ever been through one, you'll know what I mean. And then there's the duration of the MRI is different for every type of scan. Some can only be 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 15, while the maximum is 90. And like I say, that tube's rather small. You're laying flat on your back. And that can be a problem with asphyxiation, especially if you get a little hyper. You know, start feeling closed in. And I didn't know it, but that is actually the reason that they want you to make sure there's nothing in your bladder and nothing in your colon. Yeah, I looked all that up when I got home. But I'd asked right before they slid me on into the machine how long this scan would be. And she held up 4 fingers, and I said, 40? And she, just relax, get some rest. I'll say one thing for them down there in Jackson Imaging. The technicians, they were very kind and very sweet. Yes, they were. Very encouraging, comforting. Treated me well, they did. So you get in there, and what you'll hear is all kinds of different patterns of sound. anywhere from clicking to, it's hard to describe. But if you've ever been through it, you'll know what I mean. And I can see, because I was really struggling, because they give you this little thing, it looks like a bulb with a wire on it, and they tell you, you know, you need to come out. Just press it, squeeze it. And it's just because it's so uncomfortable. And I've had previous neck injuries, so me laying straight out, if you ever notice when I walk, my head's tilted a little bit forward, well, that's from a very old injury from a long time ago. So when I'm sitting trained back like I am now, that takes a little bit of effort, and it's not the most comfortable position, I might say. So that, and of course I got COPD and everything. I'm anxious, you know. I don't know whether that's just age or worry or what have you. So I'm anxious. I already have issues with my breathing. And I really had to talk to myself in there to keep pressing on. And actually, by the time they slid me out, I didn't realize it had been 40 minutes. I guess I was so preoccupied by trying to stay relaxed, you know. I kept saying in my mind, like an old Cheech and Chong movie, you know. Remember them? Mellow, mellow, relax, mellow. Yeah. But I was a happy camper when they slid me out. And I told the technicians, man, you got to add some in-a-gata-da-vita. And they both looked and said, what's that? I said, oh, you're too young to remember Iron Butterfly and in-a-gata-da-vita. We all know it. Dun, 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 dun. And then the drums would kick in. Yeah. You know what I mean. Whew, weren't those the days? I saw them in person a couple of times. You ain't lived. And I guess can't live it again. I watch the concerts of this day and time. The youngins, they don't know what a concert's all about. Yep. So we got done. We got dressed. Everybody was so happy, and so was I, to jump back in Alice and hit the road. But here again, now it's, you know, getting to be lunchtime in the capital city. There's 3 times that you'd rather not be on the road in the capital city of Alabama, Montgomery. Morning rush hour, lunch rush hour. That's even crazier because, you know, they only get 30 minutes to an hour. And then after work rush hour. So I'd sort of thought, you know, I might pick me up a little bit of grub while I was in Montgomery since I drove all that way. Which be honest, I haven't been in Montgomery in 5 years. Don't need to go. I got everything I need right here. In my little piece of heaven. In my little neighborhood. Right here. Hey, I got Superfoods, I got Walmart, I got CVS. We got fast food restaurants. You know, we don't got them all. We ain't got an Arby's, a Crystal. Those I really miss. I thought about stopping in the Cracker Barrel. But I said, oh no, I'm getting outside this city before the hangries crowd hits the streets to grab their lunch. So jumped back in Alice, swooped on down on the super slab again. And Alice, she hadn't been run that hard ever since I had her, you know. She's been around here, you know, you might get up to 45, 50 if you're not careful. She ain't ever run 70, 75. But I'll tell you what, she's small, but she's got spirit. Now, those big trucks, big SUVs going by me at 85, 90 mile an hour, well, Alice was a little afraid of them, and she'd shiver a little. But she hung right on in there, and so did I. You know, And we just made it through and back out into the countryside. And went ahead and came on home. Yep, we made a few stops along the way once we got outside the city, looking at a few things, checking things. Of course, I was rather parched by now. You know, hadn't had anything to drink in 12 hours, and that lack of coffee was really starting to set in. So, couldn't find no coffee, but I found a Coke over at the Love's truck stop, you know. I could have went in and got coffee. Nah, I just want a Coke. You know, they got a drive-through, McDonald's there. Who would have known? And we came on home. Fed the kiddies. They were thrilled to death. They don't like it when Papa leaves for more than, you know, an hour or two. They get really upset, and they put out a missing Papa report, you know, across the kiddie crew security network, looking for their Papa. If you've seen Papa in a little silver car, contact Spooky. You know, he's head of the security council. But I did want to give you a little quick video. This is probably more than quick, and let you know we're survived. We made it through the gauntlet and back. And you know, if you've had experiences we're waiting for the four-wheeler to pass by. They can sometimes be noisy, but they enjoy the ride. Talisie's passing an ordinance where they can't drive them on the roads no more because unfortunately too many have been dangerous here of late. See, that's what happens. When you abuse a privilege, they take it away. But anyway, if you've had experiences with an MRI and how you did, maybe yours were different because there's all kinds of scans. Mine, like they said, was so long because of how much of my body they were scanning. And that's fine. I mean, like I say, the MRI I was put in today is capable of doing a full body scan. Some aren't. Some are. So don't get confused if you look it up on Google and you see the one with the little tube. They're all different. Or there's different types. And don't be confused with a CAT scan. Two different animals and two different technologies. So there we have it. I got Cleo at my feet. Spooky's asleep on his favorite oak tree bed. Not sure where Speedy is, but I know where Gracie is, camped out by our food bowl. Because as you can see, the light's getting low. And it's time to make up the kiddie crew's evening chow. So hey, just a little update. Like I say, no sympathy or required. Don't worry. You know why? Because it'll be what it'll be. And I've gotten through worse, and I'll get through this too, one way or another. And there's the school bus. The kiddies are home for the day. All is good in my world. And I'd like to say I hope everything is good in yours, wherever you may be, all around this great country. And your great country too, wherever that one is. I know you love it too. So hey, y'all take care out there. Stay safe. Live the best you can and be happy with what you got. Whether it's a little or a lot. Until I, Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, sometimes Heathcliff, and old Major Fluffy Muffin, and Princess Gracie, see you on the next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. May God bless you all, as you have blessed those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Cleo, is it food time? Is it food time? Yeah, it is. It's food time. It's food time, huh? Was you worried about Papa? Was you worried? You know, Papa had you all set up. Don't get choked up on it. I know you love me, and you get all choked up. I know it's hard for you when you get affectionate, isn't it? Oh, and I see Spooky out there by the tree. He's right over there, curled up. He loves that old oak tree. Well, let's get her on in and make it, Cleo. Hey, you gonna come on in and open up the cans? Gracie's on the strike. What do you say? Wish you would. Woo! Later, all.